what's up? My name is Jasmine. This is We'll Need More Tea by Jasmine. With Jasmine, I'm Jasmine. Where is the tea? A dynamic platform that celebrates and appreciates the voices and experiences of young people, culture, life, love, and everything in between. So today we have an amazing guest that I'd love to introduce to you. I met her recently and I liked her, and I think you'll like her too. Her name is Melanie. Hi, Melanie.
Hi.
Welcome to We'll Need More Tea by Jazz. You're looking for the tea? I think you're gonna give us the tea. So Melanie, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, what you like to do. The serious stuff, but also what you like to do for fun.
Okay, nice. So my name is Melanie Hapisu. I am the founder and CEO of a digital marketing agency called Digipath Africa. We do all things digital marketing, but away from that, I am a foodie. I am a traveler. So please, chakula ingekuwa hapa.
We'll get you food.
Yes, but yes, that's me. I really love to eat out when possible. I love to travel. I wish I had all the money in the world to do that. But yes.
I also love traveling a lot, and I love eating. We have that in common. Do you like hiking?
I don't like hiking. Count me out.
Oops, I do love hiking. I hike a lot, yeah. You should try.
I love the beach, so
You love the beach?
hike while I chill.
We're gonna hike, then go to the beach. We'll give it a shot. How do you pronounce your middle name?
My middle name is Namulwani.
Namulwani. I wanted to call you by that name, but I was like, I'm not sure of how I'm supposed to pronounce that. So yeah, Namulwani. Okay, that's a very unique name. I like it. So I want us to talk a bit about self-awareness and business. I think it's a journey you've been on recently. It's a conversation we've had. Tell us a bit about your journey in self-awareness. Maybe we can start with, would you describe yourself right now at this moment? Because I know it keeps growing. Would you describe yourself as somebody who's self-aware?
I definitely would. Wasn't me before.
Yeah.
And I like that you've even said it's something that keeps growing, because definitely. If I compare self-aware Melanie now versus me even 6 months ago, a lot has changed. Especially being in business, then you find that being a critical skill that you need to have. One, because many business owners tend to imagine we're superheroes.
And sure.
And we imagine that you can hold the entire world in your hands and be okay. But something I've learned is self-awareness is quite critical, being a business owner. One, for the sake of growing your business, but also for the sake of maintaining your business. In terms of growth, then self-awareness could lead to wonderful partnership opportunities, depending on how you look at it. And also in terms of maintaining, then that's why businesses grow to have teams, grow to have suppliers. Otherwise, you would be sourcing and supplying everything to yourself. So I think being a business owner, I've really found a lot of value in self-awareness. But also when it comes to my personal life, self-awareness has also been quite critical. I like to tell people when I became a business owner, I, put Melanie somewhere on the side, personal Melanie, simply because then, business became a huge part of me. In fact, I'd introduce myself as founder and CEO and ask myself, okay, what else can I say other than that? So, today when you asked, what else do you then do for fun? That's something I can comfortably answer now, because then I became, I became aware that I had no other life, other than the business. So definitely self-awareness is a critical part for everybody, business owner or not, something very important. Oh gosh, yes, I was. I was. In fact, I think I carried that whole notion to business as well. So, in employment, very easy to become a workaholic. Sometimes very hard to get out of it, depending on who your employer is.
Especially if you're running the business by yourself, and you've started it's your baby, you want to put all the hours, all the attention on it, you feel like it's a baby you need to take care of.
I was, oh gosh, I really was. And how I got out of that is at some point, then being a workaholic, I realized was hindering my friendships. Or rather, let me just call them my relationships, both in terms of family, in terms of friends, in terms of, my social life. It was quite tough. And when I realized that, I was like, oh gosh, I need to do something about it. Then it even now became worse at some point, because you'd realize I'm here with Jazz, but I'm not here. You'd go to bed and your brain doesn't go to sleep. In fact, when I got my first smartwatch, that was like my wake-up call, because I'd now be obsessed with how much deep sleep do I have. And that's when I realized, gosh, my brain was not shutting down. So you'd sleep your 8 hours in quotes, but out of the 8 hours, you had 30 minutes of deep sleep, which means your brain was busy. So yes, I was.
I've been there, and I think for me, I realized it at a point where I was working. So my little sister had come to visit me, and I was so busy. I was working 2 jobs. So one was one I'd report in the morning at 9 to 4, then I'd rush home. The other one started from 6 to midnight. So my little sister one day asked me, I never see you, you're always working. She was asking innocently. Then it hit me. What? I'm not doing good. I'm not doing okay. And then I think about 2 or 3 days later, I was crossing the road at Kilimani, and I was sleeping on the road. That's when it hit me. I can't continue like this. I just had to quit one and, focus on the other. So when you talk about being a workaholic, I get what you mean. And I feel like we sort of celebrate that. Do you think so?
We do a lot. In fact, I think in society right now, being a workaholic means, you're doing the best, you're succeeding, you're getting the most money. It's a lie.
Everyone's looking up to you for some reason that you don't get.
Look at how hard Jazz works. She just has 2 hours of rest in between her 2 jobs. No, I think we're really glorifying the wrong thing. And forgetting what it's doing to us mentally. I mean, think of yourself. You were sleeping while crossing the road. Imagine. And some of these things...
For what?
Thanks. Some of these things is just knowing yourself. And funny thing, your body and brain tell you, but we choose to ignore. Yeah.
How does your body and brain tell you?
One, of course, you'll be tired. It's totally normal to be tired. But there are those days where you honestly feel like you should rest. I remember... I was talking to someone who, thinks all business owners wake up at 4 a.m. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. I don't say I can't, but currently I don't. And, I believe that I could work for 8 hours, I could work for 4 hours, and it should be okay, And so sometimes there are those days where I'd feel, I'm tired, and you try to push your brain, and the output you produce is pathetic.
You're probably just busy and not actually. There's that other thing of where we just busy moving up and about, but are you really productive in what you're doing?
So most business owners, your calendar is always full. You're always in meetings. I really had a lot of that problem, and then I changed. I had a period where I'd only take necessary meetings. So the first thing I did was reduce client review meetings to either once a month or bi-weekly, preferably once a month.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, because then you realize, especially being in the digital marketing space, the longer time you give for campaigns to run, then the more insights you have. So rather than coming to review every week and the progress is an inch, why not come when it's probably 5 inches, Yes. So that's the first thing I did. And then the second thing I did when it came to onboarding clients, I made majority of the process dependent on the client doing it for themselves, and only the final step of our company doing the final pitch, when the client is sure what they want and they've sort of had a look at what we want, then we only meet to pitch. Then after that, for some, depending on, how old school or new school they are, they'll, just sign. For others, maybe they'll want a physical meeting. So I've tried to reduce on that, and I find I've had a lot of gaps, let me say in my calendar, especially June, July, August. I had such a good time. I just had to peep a little bit, check that the team is okay, and life was so good. And now, because then we're in the process of sourcing for new clients for the new year, then the calendar is full again. So there are good times in terms of a free calendar, then sometimes it's really busy, and it helps. You realize a lot of things about yourself that you didn't know. You realize you were in unmeaningful meetings, all the time, so looking busy.
And they're not productive at the end of the day. And you realize once you're able to give yourself some time to rest, then even the time that now you decide to work and give it your all are so productive, and you're able to even do more than you would have done. Yeah. Do you think there's need to separate personal life, if I may call it that, especially the thin line is with entrepreneurs, personal life and business? Is there a need to separate that, and is it possible actually?
I definitely think there is, when I think about it from a work-life balance sort of perspective. But when I think about it from a human perspective, I think there are elements of your personal life that would be nice for clients to know. I know people who, for example, have had a great loss in their family, say death. And they've worked till the last minute of the burial, simply because, I have to work. This client is expecting results. So you don't even allow yourself to have a downtime. Or maybe let's not think about it from a sad perspective. Yes, let's not maybe think about it from a sad perspective. Only say I'm planning a wedding. And I work till the last minute, Thank you. So I definitely think when it comes to like that, then sometimes, yes, it's nice for clients to see that side of you. And I think it also helps to build your personality, because it doesn't mean because I'm a business owner, I have to be serious and boring, Yeah. So I can be fun as well, So like for us, a rule we have at Digipath, every time we start a meeting with a client, we have to find out how they're doing, how their week was. We try to
keep it human.
Yes. Because at the end of the day, one, that's what keeps that business relationship going. But two, I could be having a bad day, and I make clients feel so comfortable that if a client feels they're having a bad day today and we can't have a meeting, it's okay.
It's okay,
I'm having a bad day. Yeah, and I had to learn that from another business owner. One day, we were one of their suppliers, and she emailed and said she's taking a mental health break. And I was just like, whoa, that's a thing? Let's start there. That's a thing. And we're just supposed to be understanding. So that was quite shocking to me. And I said,
how did you react?
Like that, like, oh, wow. And then now I was like, oh, so nice, like such a good thing to do. Yes, because I realized I would take mental health breaks, but some of my mental health breaks would include disappearing without communication. Simply because, can you really just wake up and tell a client, I'm taking a mental health break? I'm sorry. I do that. And I've actually bumped into one of my clients. It's an NGO. They have a mental health day every week. And I found it so interesting. And I was like, no wonder these people are always happy. No, nothing. You do literally nothing. It's all about yourself, things you've been wanting to do for yourself. Of course. Come on. I would love it.
I know.
So I haven't gotten to that point. But I tell myself, sometimes it's really good. So, the rule I've made for myself, I work Monday to Friday. And the weekend is just for taking a break. Even if I'm not, traveling or spending time with the family, feels good to sleep and do nothing. It does.
And I feel, I don't know if this is your experience growing up. We grew up where if your mom found you doing nothing, It's a crime. Even now when you're doing nothing, you feel guilty for doing nothing. So if someone calls you and asks, what are you doing? You can say nothing, but you're really doing nothing. But it's okay to do nothing, you know?
I always tell people we grew up. Okay, I didn't have a lot of that. I think my parents were quite understanding.
Oh, must be nice.
But I know, like, in many homes, Saturdays were for washing.
Yours wasn't?
Okay, it kind of was, but not, the whole day, first of all. Just the way we have people who Sunday, the whole day is for church. We don't have a few hours.
Yeah.
So I remember when some of my friends moved out of home, you'd never find someone doing nothing on a Saturday. They wake up on Saturday we wash clothes, we general clean the house, and you're just like, you live alone. How dirty could be your house? How dirty could your house be? So
I ask myself that sometimes because I wake up on Saturday and the first thing my brain kicks, we do dishes, we do laundry, we are cleaning everything.
busybody.
Sometimes there is nothing that's even dirty that needs to be cleaned. You just know it's cleaning day.
Yes.
Yeah, so we grew up feeling that we need to be always busy, always doing something. Always doing something.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually very much okay to rest. Take some time out,
Yep.
refresh yourself.
Yep.
Then come back to it now energized and
Yes.
ready to work at it.
Yep.
How would you say now that you're very, very self-aware? How would you say that has helped or that helps a business owner in terms of building professional relationships? Does it help? And if it has helped you, perhaps you could let us in a bit on how that is going.
One, definitely in terms of business relationship, it helps decision-wise. Being self-aware. I remember when I first had to ask for help in terms of hiring, not even at a full-time, just part-time. That was the hardest decision of my life. In fact, I thought I was not a successful business owner because then it looked like, for the first few years, you need to have everything together. You need to be able to hold fort on your own. So that was pretty hard. And just making that decision to bring in a freelancer, the first person I had to ask for help was so tough. But if it was not for being self-aware and realizing that I needed the help, it's not a decision I would have made. And even being self-aware in terms of how do we want this company to grow going forward. I was doing a lot of everything when the business began in terms of we were offering all services under the digital marketing umbrella because we're a digital marketing agent.
Whatever can be done, we'll do it. If it brings money, let's do it.
Exactly. And so when I now started becoming more self-aware, then we started evaluating some of the services we have to offer. In fact, it became more harsh because I went through an accelerator program for my business, and it even made me more self-aware because now I was like, hey, we're wasting time here, we don't need to offer this service, we don't need, so we ended up narrowing down and we offered one service for a while, then now introduced a service related to what we have to offer. So if it was not for me becoming more self-aware in terms of the business owner and the, head of this ship, then
you'd still be doing everything, carrying everything. And you realize when you're doing everything, biting everywhere, you don't focus, you don't have your attention. And then that means even your results are not as good as they should be. The more you specify, the better it gets. So now you feel like you offer really good service. Oh, I see the sense of that. That's really brilliant.
Yeah, because you're doing a lot of everything. Even when you just think about it realistically, you probably have to hire different people for all those things you're doing.
That's true.
You're hiring these people to do one very little thing. And being in Kenya, we've not reached a point where we have Facebook specialists, Twitter specialists. So even narrowing it down into one digital marketing service, say email marketing, everyone is going to be looking at you like, what? I got a lot of boxing when we first made the announcement that we're offering one service, but now it makes sense.
I heard you say that and I was like, how does that sustain you? How is that for a whole company? That's all you do?
Yep. And right now it makes sense because then one service, of course now we've added another one that complements it, but one service in our case being lead generation using sponsored advertising. Then the new service we've advertised is landing pages, because then we realize sometimes you have people who want to run the sponsored ads, they just don't have anywhere to direct people. So how it's worked for us is, one, we've become one more niche in terms of service. And in the spirit of being niche, then the people who get it or understand why we're offering one service is the bigger brands. So you're offering one service at, a premium fee to bigger brands, that understand what it is you're doing. Yeah, so it's a win-win. So exactly. So the amount of money or the amount of time you are spending in offering all the services under the umbrella to brand ABC that were a bit smaller, you are getting now in one client, for example. And you see, when it comes to business, yes, you're in the business of making money, but at the end of the day, you ask yourself, how easy can it be to make that money? What can you easily repeat, in an easy way and still make that money? So when we thought about it for us, that was it. And you see, that makes it easier for you to focus on the problem you're solving in terms of who you're solving it for, rather than just, we're here to make money. So there's even time to pause and think, is the business actually having impact? But when we're serving all those people, it was, are we making enough money? How many clients do we have for this service? How many? Yes.
Not about how you're offering the service, the quality of the service, how do you improve, how do you make it better? Because the better it is, if you serve me well as a client, I'm likely to come back.
Yeah, and there's no handbook. No one said you have to offer 10 services. No one said you have to have 40 clients. There are businesses that have 2 clients and they're happy.
That's so wise. That's so wise actually.
Yep. Yeah, so it's been an amazing journey. Difficult, of course, not this easy. At first I was like, hey, is it going to make financial sense? But at the end of the day, it is.
Is it making financial sense now? Okay, love it. I think I'm challenged. I'm thinking a lot. I'm thinking a lot because I think I would, like every other person, think the more you can do, the better it is for you, especially for a business as an entrepreneur. But I'm seeing the sense in being aware of what you can do best and finding ways of how you can do it the best way you can.
That's why we become workaholics, because then we're all looking for many things we can do to get more money, and forgetting that it's okay to have time to yourself. It's okay, to do nothing. I would love to be at the beach right now, I would love to have a 3-day work week, and for those who haven't read the book.
There's a place that has, that people are actually productive. Try it in Kenya. Try it with Njoroge, who works from Monday to Sunday.
Njoroge won't get it. 6 a.m. ako macho.
I know.
Ako kwa business.
Nata akilala naota na hardware na pesa. So in your field, perhaps now I can narrow it down a bit to Digipath. I like what you do, by the way. You do a brilliant job. She's the best in digital marketing, just in case you didn't know. So with your self-awareness journey, and I feel like you've answered this question a bit, but perhaps you can touch more on it. In your self-awareness journey, both personal and now as a business, how do you ensure that you're relevant, because times are changing and that needs a lot of awareness in it? There's a lot of evolution happening. 5 years ago, we didn't have all that we have right now in digital marketing and all the things that we have. Maybe 10 years ago, what is lead generation? What are you talking about? And even now, there are people who still haven't embraced that side. So how do you, as a person and also in your business, ensure that you remain relevant and that you keep, growing with the times?
Wow. Being relevant in this industry is tough. Every day something changes. I was laughing with someone the other day and I was telling them I got a Threads account, but I don't remember the last time I logged into Threads. But being in the space, I had to join, I had to try it, so that when my clients tell me, let's join Threads, I have a valid reason as to why or why not, So for me, a lot of experimentation, I would say, keeps me relevant in this industry. Something new comes out, try it before then I have to try it for my clients. So you'll find, as Melanie Hapisu, I'm probably on all platforms because experimentation. But something else that has really come in handy is reading a lot. We have so many free resources. I'm a free girl. Everyone likes free things. Come on, let's not pretend. So I do a lot of free courses in terms of certification online.
And you have a couple on your platform.
Yes, and I have a couple that I also provide. So I do quite a lot of webinars, and the ones that have a lot of engagement or conversation, I end up putting them as freebies. So I mean, I give a lot for free because then someone else gave to me. So I do a lot of reading when it comes to that in terms of certifications, but also I make platforms like YouTube or TikTok, my friend. Now, maybe not so much YouTube because of time, being busy, you know, this season of business. But a platform like TikTok has really come in handy. I mean, if you go to TikTok today, search digital marketing, you learn a lot. So yeah, I try to be curious all the time. I try to have conversations like this ones with people in the industry, you know, learn one thing from people. If it involves paying, I pay. If I see someone in the industry who's really good and I can learn from them, why not? And they're charging, you know, close your eyes if you can afford it, pay and learn. Yes, exactly, and learn something new. So for me, that has really, really come in handy. And I feel like the more you give, the more you learn. So I also do quite a lot of trainings, like you've mentioned, both paid, both free. I've also had the privilege to train in universities as well. And so that keeps you on your toes. Because remember, you're the teacher. You must know everything. Yes. So sometimes then you find yourself having to be like very well read. Of course, because you don't want to be asked a question that you don't know how to answer. But I mean, there are instances like those that happen where someone asks you about something and you don't know. And I'm honest enough to say, you know what? I actually don't know. Yes, because I mean, come on. I'm not Google. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing so far to keep ahead in the industry. And I would say it's been working well. Yeah.
You know, you mentioned about threads. I think I joined. And then I think from then I joined once a month just because I see the app on my phone. But I was so curious to join at that time when everybody was talking about it. Yeah, I was in a meeting earlier today, and it was a marketing meeting actually, and we were talking about. I've remembered this as you're talking. We're talking about it's a product being sold. It's a property. So there was a whole budget for TikTok, but then when I look at the property that's being sold and TikTok as the budget that we have, I didn't feel like that was the right audience. And I just was like, we can do better with this money. We can take it somewhere else that's not TikTok. I mean, guys on TikTok are, guys on TikTok are good, but they are not, you know, the target audience for that. So I get it when you mean you need to familiarize yourself with these places and know this is a target for this place. I mean, and I don't mean TikTok is not a marketplace. It is. I love shoes. I've bought shoes from TikTok twice or thrice from shops I've seen over there, and they are amazing, yeah? But you need to know where your product is selling or what you have the best audience for them and remain relevant as Melanie is relevant. Okay, wow, self-awareness and business. I really liked this conversation. I enjoyed it. Yeah? It's good knowing you a little bit more. Tell us one last interesting thing about yourself. Yeah, that is so random. Tell us one interesting thing about yourself and then we wrap this up.
Wow, interesting thing. Yeah. We've talked about travel. In the spirit of food, my favorite meal is ugali mayai.
Ugali mayai.
A lot of ata ukai. Yes, I love ugali mayai and mala, maziwa mala. Ooh, my God. Favorite. It slaps. That's me. Sorry guys, ndio mimi. Sisi ndio tuko ugali mayai and maziwa mala.
It looks so bougie.
No thanks. Favorite.
Bye guys, I'm out.